Hey Embers, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 7 of my Astro Bot playthrough. So quickly, I just want to say we are finally at the end of the week. Thank you to everybody who has been watching every single day this week. This is something completely new for this channel, so thank you for doing that. So we are going to head into the tentacle system. We have lots to do here. We also have stuff to sort of recap. So Go Archipelago, we need to find the secret world. We are done at Downsized Surprise. I am avoiding those for now. Wormy Passage we haven't started yet. We need to find 2 puzzle pieces at Trunk of Funk. We need to do Retro Rampage 2. So I think that's what we're going to do right now. So let's head into Retro Rampage 2. So like I say, on this channel I have never posted every single day before, so this has been very stressful but very enjoyable. So thank you to every single person who has watched every single one of these videos. Thank you if you've just watched one of them, it really does mean a lot to me. I have been working really hard, as you can see there's the first death of course. I have been working really hard on getting this done for you all, so I really do appreciate the support. So this is where I realise I can just hit the enemy rather than you know, having to jump over them all the time. One thing I have noticed, because I obviously play the episodes, then I voice over them. There's a better way of saying that. One thing I have noticed, hang on, let's just pause a second. So here is our bot, which is Assured Rival, attack him if you dare. Now I'm going to say that's like, I don't know which one's a Nintendo product and which one's a Sony, but like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, something like that. I'm not sure, I'm so sorry. So let me carry on with my thought quickly. One thing I was going to say is I have noticed since editing these videos back that I rely too much on Astro's sort of double jump laser ability rather than punching. So hopefully that's something that we can do a little bit better on in the future. So it looks like we are heading to Fragile Frenzy. I absolutely hate these levels. I cannot do them. As I've said before, not a platformer by any stretch of the imagination. I just love this game, but I am absolutely terrible at these. So I'm going to show you my first couple of attempts, which you will see obviously right now. And then as always, I'm going to skip, do a time jump to where I actually complete the level. That is kind of defeating the purpose a little bit because it means you know that I completed it, but there you go, there's my first fail. However, I cut out about 15 minutes of this recording just doing this, so trust me, the recordings would be far too long if I kept all of my deaths in. Yeah, this one took me about 15 minutes to do, which is quite a long time actually. So yes, I hope you don't mind that I am cutting bits out. It would just take an incredibly long amount of time if I was to keep all of the deaths in. And nobody wants to see me dying over and over and over again. That's just not fun, is it? So there is my second death. So we are going to do a time jump now. And this is hopefully my successful attempt. I couldn't think of how to word that then. And as you can see, you obviously don't know how much time has passed. I've told you about 15 minutes. You can see how much more confident I am in my jumps. You just have to keep playing and playing and playing these until you get confident enough with the pattern. And I can get quite impatient, I'm not going to lie. I get very frustrated with these kinds of levels because I know I'm not the greatest player of them, so I do get very frustrated. But believe me when I say I am never going to lie to you and say this was first try. No, it was definitely not first try, and you wouldn't believe me even if I said it was. So here we have another bot, which is Protective Android will stay with you to the very end. And I'm so sorry, I don't know this reference either. The PlayStation is my favourite console and franchise, believe it or not. The PlayStation 2, I've always said, is my favourite. So I thought I would know more of these references, but I don't. I'm so sorry. There is like 304 bots, to be fair, so I don't think I'm expected to know them all. So for the first time, we are going to head into Wormy Passage. And let's see how we get on here. So, like I say, first time on this level. Let's see how we get on. So like I say, this is not a speed run by any stretch of the imagination. So we do take, I do spend a lot of time looking around, etc, etc. So I hope that doesn't bother you guys too much. And once again, I will say it just so I have said it this episode. Please bear with the traffic noises. Where I film is not an ideal location where I do the voiceovers. We've had these before, these punching gloves. Where I film is not ideal, so please bear with me with traffic noises, etc, etc. So, I was trying to work out how this works, but you just repeatedly keep punching this character here. It's quite cruel, really, isn't it? A bit mean. And with that we have our photo spot of the episode, which hasn't quite become relevant yet, but it does become relevant in the future. And I promptly walked into a cactus and died. Of course I did. Of course I did. What else did I think was going to happen walking into a cactus, eh? So overall, I found Wormy Passage quite enjoyable, as you will see as we go on. I don't think I struggled with this one as much as I've struggled with previous ones. And we have our first bot here of the level. And this is Immune Survivor, aspires to be an astronaut. And I'm so sorry, I don't know that reference either. Oh, I'm terrible. I say you'll have to let me know in the comments who the bots are. So again, of course, visually stunning. Everything in this game, that's probably the biggest word I could use, visually stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. I've not quite seen anything like it. Like I say, my favourite console, as I've said, is the PlayStation 2. And I'm not really too fussed about graphics, that kind of thing. But this, honestly, some of the best graphics I've ever seen on this game. Just beautiful. Like I say, I can play an old game with old graphics, no problem. You've seen that on this channel. But there is something to be said about just how visually stunning this is. Really and truly beautiful. But I'm not going to talk about that too much. Promptly another death, of course. I'm not going to talk about that too much because you have heard me say that in previous episodes. I do also want to reiterate something I said in a previous episode. Again, I won't talk about it too much because you've already heard it, but you really aren't getting the full scope of this game without hearing the controller. And I know that sounds silly. I think Astro Bot and Astro's Playroom are the only two games I've ever played that utilises the PlayStation 5 controller function of sound. And obviously these games make the controller relevant, I suppose, because we use controllers all the time, of course, to play games, but they're not really a feature of the game. Whereas with Astro Bot and Astro's Playroom, they really are a feature of the game. And I know I could be saying this a little bit more eloquently, but I hope you do understand what I'm saying. And if you are enjoying my playthrough, if you can afford it, if you do have a PlayStation 5, that's the second bot rescued, because I know that it's quite expensive to do all of this, but if you can afford it, I would highly encourage you to get this game. I really would. So with that said, enough rambling on that, but I did want to reiterate what I said in a previous episode about the controller. I don't think I've said it as eloquently as I perhaps could have, but just trust me when I say you really are not getting the full effect without the controller in this game. And that's something quite unique for me, because I haven't quite played another game like it. So visually, this level, Wormy Passage, looks very similar to one of the levels in the Lost Galaxy, which well, you've seen in previous episodes how much I've struggled with that one. We will be going back there as well at one point. Visually, this looks pretty similar, but I definitely prefer this one. So with that, we have our third bot. So we've actually missed a bot. And this is Dependable Smuggler, tells the occasional white lie. Again, I do apologise, I'm not sure who that is. So we do need to go back a little bit because we have clearly missed a bot. So this is me just figuring out where we could have possibly missed this bot from. So there is a little bit of back and forthing while we try and find this bot. I'm not entirely sure how long this takes, so I may cut some out of the episode. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't know how long it takes me to find this missing bot. So I'm not going to cut for now. I'm going to carry on and we'll see what happens. No, I take that back. I think I am going to do a jump cut to where we find the missing bot. So I cut about 30 seconds of wandering around out there. It's just underneath this mushroom here. There is the bot. So you'll see where we are as we go back up. Not very far at all. So I only cut about 30 seconds out there. So I probably could have kept it in. But I am trying to keep these episodes as, concise as I possibly can. So that was never going to work, was it? But it has taken us back up to the top anyway, so never mind. So if I can do this in a oneer, I'll be shocked and stunned. Let's see. I don't believe it. I did. Look at that, pro gamer. Absolutely not. So with that, let's continue, perhaps? No, we're still looking around a bit. And we are going to continue. So this is where I am trying to get this bit that I missed. There we go. And we do have a missing bot here as well. So that's our 5th bot rescued out of 7. We still need to find 2 puzzle pieces. So let's continue on. Doesn't look like I missed anything up there. So of course we're still looking around. Ideally, I want to make sure that I finish the levels as and when I'm doing them, so we don't have to come back. That is not always the case though. So this should be our 6th bot. And this is Fungus Head. Don't give them a chance to grow on you. Again, I do apologise, I have no idea what that's a reference to. So here, there's a specific way to do this, I'm sure, but I decided to take my chances, grab the puzzle piece and die, because you do keep the puzzle piece even after you've died. So that was deliberate, that was a deliberate death. I'm sure there's a way to solve that particular puzzle, but for me, nah, just grab it and die. So obviously this is going to fill up with water. So what you're supposed to do is swim down there and get it. Now I do attempt to swim and I die. And I do this a few times and die a few times. So I am going to do a quick jump cut here of me literally just dying in the water. So we're back. You literally just missed me dying in the water about 3 times. I gave up. I couldn't swim in there very well. So it seems like my original plan of grabbing the puzzle piece and dying was the best thing to do. So let's move on. I thought that was a missing bot for a second, but it's not. So I just punched a mole or whatever that was. Now this enemy I do originally die from my own stupidity. Yeah, no, I don't die, I didn't quite hit him enough to get him off the edge. So this is where he does kill me. But let's go for 2nd time lucky. And this time I do manage to knock him off the edge. Fantastic stuff. So I'm just checking, I still need 1 puzzle piece and 1 bot. Let's keep going, see what happens. And we end up being eaten, which is intentional. So we are now inside one of the worms. Wonderful stuff. Again, this reminds me of a Spyro level in Spyro 3, in one of the homeworlds where you do get eaten by a whale. And that is our final bot. So we just need one puzzle piece. And again, I do die a couple of times to this, so I may do another jump cut. I hope you don't mind, but you don't want to see me dying over and over again. So you've just missed 2 or 3 deaths. I wanted to show you something here. Again, that was very nearly a death, wasn't it? So we do manage to grab the final puzzle piece, thus completing this level. Unfortunately though, I do die on this attempt as well. So again, I'm going to do a jump cut to where I complete this. And with that, Wormy Passage is complete. So we did finish everything here first time. Absolutely wonderful. So let's head off. Am I going to hit this box? Of course I'm not. Of course I'm not. I hope you don't mind all of the jump cuts. You just don't want to see me dying over and over again. You really don't. And the episodes are just run far too long. So with that, we have 101 bots out of 304. And the boss level has opened up. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to head back to Trunk of Funk and get the 2 puzzle pieces that we're missing. So again, we'll be going through this fairly quickly because you have already seen, of course, Trunk of Funk. We came here last episode, I believe. I think it was last episode. We did get this puzzle piece, so we're just missing 2 more. So we are going to utilise the bird mechanic here and get him. One of them I already know that I missed. I know where it is. But as we said in a previous episode, I was spending far too long trying to get it, so I did have to leave. So again, you have seen this episode before. Well, you've seen this level before, sorry, not this episode. You've not seen this episode before, hopefully. And again, he's not making any sound yet. I don't know why I decided to go back here just to grab this coin. I have no idea. But as you can see, we did get a reaction over there. With, of course, what I already knew, the golf place. So you do indeed have to get a hole in one here. Which is what I was trying to do at last episode. I'm hoping that it doesn't need to be what I know it needs to be, because I was trying for ages last time and it just wasn't happening. But I know that's what we have to do, so let's go back and do it. And I think the problem I had last time was that I was trying to do this while the tree was open. So now we're going to try and do it before we open the tree and hope that that works. So let's see how many attempts this takes me. Not as many as last time, but I think you're supposed to do this when the tree is not open, because that took me so long before. That was so close. So it's taken me 4 attempts this time. Now believe me when I tell you, on the jump cut that I did last episode, I was doing that about 20 odd times. So let's carry on. We get that lovely song again, in case you guys like it. And as I say, this is quite a long level. So we're going to try and get through it as quickly as we can, just to look for that last puzzle piece again. Hopefully you enjoy this song, because you're hearing it again. And again, we're going to go through this as quickly as we possibly can. Now, if you remember when we were here last, you'll know exactly where the final puzzle piece is. There's something I gave up on that I really shouldn't have done. So what I might do is jump cut us to where the final puzzle piece is. I hope you don't mind that, but we'll just do it that way for the sake of the episode length. So we're back near to the end of the level. I've just cut out about 10 minutes there of getting here. And if you remember the last time we were here, you of course know that this is where the last puzzle piece is. I gave up on doing this last time, so we ended up leaving before I'd actually defeated this plant thing. So again, I'm doing it a little bit too far away. I don't need to do it that far away. So this takes a little bit of time, but not too much. And of course this is where the last puzzle piece is. The one thing I gave up on. So that was a bit of a mistake there. I didn't want to do that. So we are just going to head back down and grab the honey again. Like I say, this will make more sense if you have watched the previous episode where we were here. So let's do this thing. I don't know why I keep standing here like that's necessary. It's not necessary. I can be nearer if I want to be. Because yes, we do keep failing, as you can see. And of course we have a death. Of course we do. So hopefully I can defeat this as quick as possible. I'm struggling more here than I have on some of the bosses. I don't know what's happening with me. I think it's because I'm so insistent on putting it at the place where it looks like it needs to be. But it doesn't need to be there at all. That's more for the chest at the top of the smiley face. So I think that's where I'm going wrong. I can just do it from here and be just fine. And there we go. That's exactly what happened. But then I died. Of course I did. Of course I did. So I will get back to you when all of this is done. So finally, here we are. So this is what we needed to do. As simple as that, eh? As simple as that. Yeah, I absolutely failed. So with that, Trunk of Funk is indeed done. So let's go ahead and leave. The only thing we have left to do here, apart from the boss and the level that opens up, is Go-Go Archipelago. So we do need to find the secret world there, so let's go ahead and do that. Now I will tell you, there is a big jump cut here in this one, so I hope you don't mind. The long and short of it is, I paid the 200 to get the bird, and I was wandering round and round and round the level. Of course, you have seen this level before. I was wandering round and round and round, trying to find the secret world. Spoiler alert! You have to defeat the boss again in order to get the secret world here, and it's something that I just didn't consider. I was wondering why the bird wasn't making any sound, so there's a big jump cut here where I spent about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes going through this level looking for this secret world, not thinking that you'd have to defeat the boss again, but here we are. So hopefully this goes a bit more smoother than the first time we did it. Of course it doesn't. It's me we're talking about, so let's give that another go, shall we? I'm really trying to hold on to these. It's not going to work. I don't know why I keep doing that. Anyway, this is not a hard boss to defeat by any stretch of the imagination. The difficulties you're seeing are all me. This is proof of why I was never any good at Crash Bandicoot, see? Love the Spyro games, was never a Crash girl. I'm just terrible at them, I really, really am. So I've picked up the wrong thing there by accident. So again, this is not too difficult. And with that we have done it. So the second time defeating that boss, but that's okay, it's not too difficult. And the secret world, I'm about to show you. His claws come down and it's right there, look, right in front of us. Just have to get out of the sand. And I just completely missed it the first time around. So let's go. So it's sort of like a secret treasure room, this. And what I really loved was, if you look in one of the chests, it's a PlayStation trophy, look. I just love those little Easter eggs and details. So cute. I was seeing if I could try and pick it up if it unlocked a trophy. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But how good would it have been for a trophy to have unlocked a trophy? Missed opportunity. Anyway, with that, let's open up the secret world in the Lost Galaxy. And here we are. And with that, I'm actually going to end the episode. So this is a lot shorter of an episode than we're used to, largely because I had to cut out so much from deaths and unnecessary trips. So with that, I will see you next week. Bye, Embers.